I need to check this camera because look. This bit.
I think leave it in.
Okay, welcome to Material Girls. Oh, it's Material Girl. Material Girl podcast with me, Susan Riddell and Amanda Dwyer. And today we have our guest, Viv.
Hello.
Yay. Viv, your wee monitor's no up.
There, so you can see
yourself.
Oh, I'm happy noticing myself.
Put it back in. I'm the same. Mine's is far away enough that I don't need to fucking
really
look at it. That is, do you know what? It's just so brutal having to like edit yourself and stuff and like look at clips of yourself all the time. Like it's because you walk about thinking you look alright until you see yourself on
film.
You focus on different bits though. You'll focus just on one bit. You don't sort of see the whole, do you? You don't see the whole.
No, it's just the whole fucking shebang. It's just everything.
No, but I think because I'm like, I hate my side profile, so anything for this, like I'm looking to see when I come to the side and I'm like,
you've got the good seat, but like I think you should swap seat.
No, never.
No, but you've always got the good seat. Like you've got the good angle, so I feel it's only fair that we should rotate it.
I'll do it next time.
I'm always pure looking at my big pelican neck.
Next time.
Anyway, I'm sorry, we're not very body positive or face positive.
We all love ourselves.
So we've got Viv here. Viv is our guest, and we actually had planned to be more organised, but then I went away to Tenerife. So
I'm going there in January.
Whereabouts?
Los Cristianos.
Oh, lovely.
Where did you go?
I went to Adeque,
which is just
So it was just me, my ma, and my auntie. It was like a lassies. Well, a woman holiday. No lassies anyway.
Young lassies.
And just like a wee.
I know.
It was after the Fringe.
You need to get away then, don't you? Yeah.
But I'll tell you something, it's dead hard to like. I think I've done myself worse by going away on a holiday, because like now I feel as if I've my brain's totally, because I've done the Fringe, went on holiday, and now I'm like,
you need to get back into the swing.
Like I don't remember how to do anything. You're going in January?
Aye.
It's a brutal flight, but isn't it?
I know.
Is it
I know.
5 hours or something?
But they don't give you a telly or anything. It's just too short for a telly and food, but too long for no having one.
Well, do you know what? The first flight I ever went on was to Tenerife, and we got a movie. We got to watch 27 Dresses, and we got dinner as well.
See, I'd rather not have a movie then.
I liked it.
I know, I was
fun. It's fun.
I like it.
No, I like it.
What one is 27 Dresses?
It's Catherine Heigl. Is it Heigl?
Aye.
And she's like a bridesmaid 27 times.
I'm thinking about...
Is that what it is? I think I only saw it that one time.
I was thinking about Bride Wars.
Oh, aye.
That's quite good fun. That's Kate...
and Anne Hathaway.
Goldie Hawn's daughter. What's her name?
Aye. What's her name?
Hudson. Yeah.
I feel like I don't ever watch movies anymore. I mean, they're only like... it's just like pure fluff. Like 27 Dresses and... But I just don't... You're a movie buff?
No, I can't get through a whole... I'll watch it and then I'll stop and I'll go and do something and I'll watch another bit and...
I feel like
I'm terrible.
Brain's been wrecked.
Although I watched The Godfather for the first time in my life the other day and I had never seen it either, and I just went, oh, this is amazing.
Not like hours and hours long?
No, well, I think it's 2 hours 45 or something. So I didn't even notice.
Was it good? Did you like it?
It was brilliant, yeah.
So it's, everybody
so it depends on the film, yeah.
I've not seen it. Have you seen it before?
Aye, but like years ago.
It's because I just watched, there's a new series that's called The Offer, and it's about the making of it, a dramatisation, and it's so brilliant that it made me want to watch.
Oh, really?
It's amazing on Paramount Plus.
I prefer to watch that other thing.
Aye,
like the making of it.
It's incredible.
Rather than the actual
because you see the mafia and how they're trying to. It's like the same story off The Godfather. Aye.
See, I know the whole story because I just studied.
Annie snoring, sorry.
Aye, I just studied like screenwriting, and my lecturer honestly was just constantly be like, for example, in The Godfather, like, or he would say, or for example, in Disney Pixar's Cars, he always referenced The Godfather or Cars. They were like the two for like structure.
Really?
Yeah, such a strange.
I know.
It's like a dead car in some car's bed or something. A wee dead Cortina.
I've actually never seen Cars either, so I know the whole story because he was obsessed with referencing the Godfather.
God, it's making me want to watch Cars.
Oh,
It's a good film, apparently.
I've no good. I feel like TikTok and like just the internet in general has crushed my attention span. Like I can't read anymore either. I tried to read a book on holiday, and I was just like.
And was it a book or a Kindle?
It was that Catch-22.
Oh,
I've always wanted to read it, and I saw it in the airport, and I think I was supposed to read it at uni, and I just kind of bluffed my way through it. And then I saw it in the airport, and I was like, I'm reading this.
Do you know what?
And I got the book, and I think do you know what it was when I was reading it? I kept on knowing what words were. And so then I would go on my phone to Google what the word was, and then once you're on your phone, that's you. Going down a rabbit hole.
Do you know what I was thinking about? Like, obviously, like Viv teaches. You teach comedy.
Viv teaches comedy. Everybody, you're saying that as if like we know, but they don't.
Okay, well, Viv teaches comedy.
But don't sign up. There's enough comedians.
No, don't take our jobs.
Don't need any more content. But I was just thinking, like, how do you manage to like pay attention, like, you know, when you're like listening to us. So I'll give you a bit of context. I did one of the courses for Viv, right, and it was like the charity one, that, you know, the ultra comedy one, and there's like, so all the time there's a couple of nights where you're listening to us do our 5-minute set, and then you'll gaze off feedback. How do you manage to actually listen from start to finish everybody's set?
I don't. I just make up the notes. No, I do.
Well,
I don't know, because sometimes I do have trouble concentrating, and I actually enjoy it though. I enjoy listening and finding out. Right, there's going to be a bit that we can twist. There's a word. I mean, some people are harder than others.
Yeah,
obviously, and you just think there must be one thing I can give them that they can.
Is there ever
do
times
better.
you're just like, just go home?
Oh God, aye.
Really?
Aye. Well, Amanda, but I mean, she's like, no.
She actually locked the door.
You know, it's not even to do with comedy. It's the ones that just commandeer everything, where you're talking to someone and then they want to ask, which is fine, but then they just take up maybe 20 minutes, and you're thinking, we've got 25 people. I can't. It's that lack of awareness about everybody else.
You get that in. I remember that in uni as well. There'd always be one cunt just pure.
Just
want to show off. They weren't even wanting.
They're not asking the question. They're telling you something they know.
They're saying.
They're at the.
Wouldn't it be?
Yes. I
always remember that at uni, and I was the opposite. I would. It's weird because even though I did comedy now, like I hated speaking it.
Oh, I was the same. I'd go red. Aye. School or stuff.
I used to go red when I knew my name was coming up on the register, and I'd have to shout.
Like, I was the same. I could
go red the now, thinking about going red. I think I'm actually beginning to like pure burn up.
Yeah.
Oh,
you are. Aye.
You're blending in with my jumper. Maybe it's an age thing.
I like people that ask questions because they want to know, but it is the kind of, I'm asking because I already know, and I'm going to tell you what I know, which I like people who come to something to leave with something rather than come with someone to bring something.
Aye.
If you're teaching.
What's the point if you fucking know it, why are you
I
here?
need to blow my nose. Is it alright on camera?
Sorry, I can't believe I just pure. That is quite a skill to hit radio on demand.
I know, well done.
I should really be an actress.
You should be an actress.
No, that is pure traumatising for me. But because I remember, like in school, like just being pure shy and
With me, it's because I was so covered in plukes that I hate anyone. I hate anyone looking at me ever.
Oh my God!
Aye.
Pure lovely skin.
Clear, lovely.
The oil has actually helped.
With the aging.
Aye, totally.
That's right.
What aging?
I was going to say. No, honestly, but like, because people that have dry skin get older quicker than people that have got oily skin. Obviously makes sense because like all the oils.
I know. I just till I was like 31 probably. I didn't go to school till then, but I went, yeah. But I was covered, like, all the different names I got called and stuff. Dalmatian because I was a spotty dog.
Oh no.
I know.
Oh my God,
paste.
that's...
I know.
That's a shame. You would never tell. You've not get. It doesn't look like it's like.
There's a wee bit, but no much. I've done. I've got.
Aye.
Aye.
You know, kind of scars.
Aye.
You know, a picker. I'm a picker.
I'm a
No,
massive picker.
no, really. Squeezer sometimes, but if it was like embarrassing, like it was like people talking to you like that,
Aye.
I still get them on my
Would
back
you cover
up
it?
here.
Would you like try and cover
I
it?
tried all the Clearasil and the spot cover and you just do everything. And yeah.
I think it's like back in the day as well. There wasn't very good like advice because they'd just be like Clearasil and that. And that's,
Oh, I know,
like,
I know.
dries it up
And
and
there's a
makes
thing
it
called
worse.
toothpaste, or there was a thing called Quiniderm. It was like a blooming just melted your face. Just
Oh my God.
But now you can get like actual tablets and stuff, can you not?
well, I was on so many different antibiotics, and then I got Roaccutane, which is the stuff that's
Roaccutane, aye.
dangerous.
Aye.
And then when I
Dangerous
stopped
how?
that, I was ill for the rest of my life. Well, it gives people suicidal thoughts, and it makes people depressed. And but you're already suicidal because you're skin anyway,
Oh,
so
you're
you think,
so
fuck.
It's enough to tip you over the edge.
Oh my God,
'Cause I actually was going to the gynae, right? I was at college, I was about 22, and I was going to the gynae because my periods weren't happening and stuff, and it was said periods. And while I was waiting in the queue, my mum came with me, right? A nurse went past, did a double take, came back, went, your skin's going to mark your face, you need to get on this new drug Roaccutane. And I felt my face went bright red, which
Aye.
makes my spots look less. And
Blinding.
I went on it, and it was a terrible drug, although it cleared my skin.
And did it work? Is it like one of the things like once it works, that's you can come off it and
you have to go on the pill as well. And the reason I was at the gynae is because I'd come off the pill and my period gone crazy, and then I had to go back on it for this stuff because if you get pregnant it's dangerous or something, and all this. But
So to take Roaccutane, you had to actually take.
you had to be in contraception. Just not. It was mostly because you hadn't to get pregnant. So the only way they trusted you wouldn't get pregnant is if you were on the pill.
right.
So
And
I know.
but then the pill can have an effect on your skin and all
I know,
that as
because I
well.
think coming off it is what made it bad in the first
Aye,
place.
aye.
So
And I've known lassies that are on the pill for years. Well, in fact, some people went on the pill for their skin.
I know.
When they were like young, like too young to take the pill, and then like been on it for years and years, and then come off, and their skin just
Aye.
goes mental, and they get like adult acne and stuff like that.
Because
So, aye.
I was at drama college, you're really aware of, you know what I mean, when you're seeing your face, you've got to look at yourself and watch your, and it was just like, I just got through the day by never looking in a mirror.
Aw, that's a wee shame.
That's quite hard.
Or touching my face.
I still do that.
Oh, actually,
So do I.
I brought his face masks.
All right.
Not to do that now. Just to,
the way you were looking
no, Lush gave me Lush. I bought some stuff at Lush, and they gave me free pumpkin pie face
Oh,
mask.
right. I thought you meant
So,
like,
well, you rub it on and then you leave it.
Lush.
see, I don't do anything with my face now because then I got acne rosacea, so and everything started burning it, so I just had to stop using as much as I can't. I don't put like foundation on
And
it,
like
but
Lush
thank you.
Perfumeness.
No,
Just
it's
too
nice.
perfume.
You don't want it. Okay, that's fine.
But thanks for the gift.
No more for me. It's
Is that the ones you peel? I've never used
no,
one.
you don't peel it. That's when you just rub on. You leave it for 15 minutes and then you wash it off, and your face is nice and soft.
Ah.
Right.
It's like it smells nice, but it does look like actual vomit. It's like chunky and orange.
You can test it. You can guinea pig it, and then
I've tried it. It's lovely.
I like it. I mean, I'm saying I like a sheet mask. I don't actually like a sheet
I've never
mask,
tried
like-
one. They look
but I did.
horror filmy.
They feel
Aye.
nice after, but it's when it's on. It's like
It's just wet and horrible.
Aye.
It's not a nice feeling.
Cold.
Aye.
aye. I prefer.
But they
like a
do make your
steamy-
skin look good. They
Aye.
Because they've got hyaluronic acid in them. Which
Oh, that's the
pumps
new
up.
one, isn't it? Aye. I just hide for the sun, and
Aye.
that seems to help. Aye.
Sunscreen's really
I'm
good.
the same. But do you use sunscreen every day? Like,
Practically, aye. Because I got rosacea, and that's like, and then
But
you
if-
can't have saunas or.
but now you're
yeah.
getting the benefits of that because you look pure young.
Oh, thank you. I know I don't look 70.
But I use sunscreen every day. That is it. La Roche Posay one. It's always on offer in Boots.
Right, aye.
Pure.
Expensive?
Aye, it's fucking dear.
They would know.
If anybody knows a dupe, like let me know because
version.
I've tried to.
Is
like,
that the
use
word
other ones.
dupe for
Aye,
duplicate?
a
All
dupe.
right.
Aye.
Dupe.
Like a
I like
one.
it.
I've used like people we've had like dupes of them, like recommendations.
Aye.
But the good thing about the La Roche-Posay one is it doesn't nip your eyes.
Oh, you do get that. If you sweat, you
Get a
feel
leaky,
that.
leaky eye.
Aye, that's a good. Aye.
So it doesn't nip your eyes. It's, you can wear your makeup on top of it because it just kind of sinks in. It's not greasy.
Right.
And I've not found one that's as good as it, but it's pure dear.
Sometimes you're better just
Paying it.
paying it.
I know.
Aye.
If you know that it does what you want.
Just need to start making some money. Waiting on this career to take off.
I've never had such a girly chat for ages. This is great. It's just like you're talking about comedy, so like makeup,
That's what's
periods,
called
the pill. It's great.
So we wanted to just talk to you about like how you got into. I actually don't know any of your story at all. Like how you get into comedy, like, and then how you got into like teaching it and stuff. And so when did you start doing comedy?
So I did a So You Think You're Funny for a Laugh in 93 because I'd been doing like funny poems at gigs.
Okay.
And I was in the final, but I never really did comedy. I think they just needed a woman. And then I never really did comedy. And then 94, I went in for the BBC, which is now the new, it was called the BBC Open Mic thing, and I got in the final of that. And then I started kind of maybe 94, I started doing gigs and all that. Yeah. And so I'd been doing like, I did sort of poetry gigs, and at poetry gigs people were just like, and then I realised that the only response you can actually gauge is laughter. So then you know it's, and I just thought I quite like this. And then a guy called Cal Tanner, who was on Blind Date as well. I don't know I can't remember his real name, but he started this gig in Barmero, which is now the Snow Bar or something.
When
Do you mean he was
mean
just
on,
a contestant? Or?
Yeah, he was on.
Aye.
He was on
right.
Blind Date as a contestant, and then he managed Johnny Vegas for a while as a kind of someone not knowing what they're doing. I'll try and get you gigs thing at the start.
Right, okay.
And he started a gig, and I went along and did it. He says, "Do your poems, come along and do it." And so I just did funny poems then. And as it went on, I added more and more material.
Aye.
But I'd been at drama college at the time, and I got ill in my third year at the sort of same time, and I dropped out. And it was then that as I was getting better, I was out for about 3 years, I started doing it sort of sitting down and sort of stuff. And then, but the first gig I did, I was really lucky because Ford Kiernan, Vladimir McTavish, a guy called Billy Bonkers were all at it, all three of them running gigs.
Oh,
So I got gigs from all of them.
Oh,
good.
right.
Yeah.
What was Ford, what's his name?
Kiernan,
sorry.
he was running one at 13th Note.
Was he? I never knew he was a stand-up.
Aye, he was a brilliant stand-up. Aye,
knew he was
yeah. That's how he started.
Was Greg a stand-up as well?
Aye, he did a part of a, I don't know if he did stand-up on his own, but he won like, So You Think You're Funny, the Trio Brothers troupe.
Oh, so it was like a sketch group.
I didn't see it, but I think it was like, I don't think it was sketches. I think they were speaking to the audience, but it's it's three of them.
Is that like, no, I can't remember what we call them, so never mind.
Threesomes? No.
No, I know about them. No. There's Chris Forbes and Sean Summers, is that the guy's name? And another guy do like a kind of, like a threesome. Like it's called.
Yeah, How Do I Get Up Here?
Aye, How Do I
think
Get Up
that
Here?
was.
Oh, but in the past.
I think that was sketches.
They were doing it. Is it sketches?
I don't know. I never saw them, so maybe it was.
So they were doing it at the Edinburgh Stand in May, but for the first time in like years and years and
Oh,
years.
wow.
I knew
Yeah.
that he
All
was
right.
part of a sketch
Um,
group like years and years and years ago.
But I was
didn't
in the
know.
back, so I didn't like see how, like I couldn't quite make out whether they'll like, do you know what I mean? What they were actually doing. Because there was the three of them, and I thought, oh.
Because I think it was Rab Christie that was in it, Andy and Bustard, and him, Greg Hempel. I think that's
So
who
Rab
was in it.
Christie performed.
Aye, he went to my drama school. Yeah,
Rab
or he
Christie's
went to
the what is he the
head of comedy unit.
head
of
of
the
comedy?
comedy
Yeah,
unit?
yeah.
The head.
Aye.
I wouldn't ever think Rab was. I didn't
Oh, he's
know
very
any of
funny.
this.
He's good.
I wouldn't
He's
have thought
very
he would
funny.
be a performer though. He's quite a
Aye, he's
you
very
mean,
natural.
like shy, like kind of quiet guy.
Yeah.
I can imagine him like doing that. I'm going to say him. Spoke to many Jews.
He's not emailed me back.
But
He's not emailed me back.
oh, has he know how?
It's been 5 years.
What did you email him for?
Ian Connell gave me his email address to pass on a sitcom that I wrote.
Oh, right.
He said Rab would read it, but
It didn't.
I don't know. Might have read it and thought, well, I'm not going back to her. I'm a beast just ever
nice.
Do you know what? I'm going to be nice and just ignore this lassie. But did you go to drama college to do acting?
Aye.
Yeah.
So I went to RCMD as it was. It's now RCS.
Yeah, it's the concern.
So that was always what that's the only thing I wanted to do. It's, do you know what I mean? School, leave and go to drama college. And then, of course, you don't get in. So I worked for 2 years in a tax office. And then I did a foundation course at Telford College in Edinburgh. And it was the bitchiest, horriblest year I've ever had in my life. It was just 10 women. And this was the community drama course, because I thought if I do performance, it might be a bit bitchier. And it was so bitchy and horrible that I just ended up getting like bad stomachs and all this and all that. And then when I did go to RSMD, I thought, fuck it, I'm going straight for the performance course. So it was like the total acting course. Yeah. And then I had to drop out in my 3rd year, but I went back and finished it in 97. I had to go into a year of people who'd never met me. They were halfway through it, nearly finished. And it was a wee bit like, you know that scene in Trainspotting where he goes down to London and everyone's suddenly on acid? It was like that. Everyone had been smoking like weed and stuff. And then I went back and everyone was popping pills.
Really?
And shagging each other openly. Before it was like secrets, and now it was like, did I shag you last week? No, that was the week before. And I was like, I can't, oh my God.
Like
I just felt like Sandra D. Honestly, I was like, oh my God.
Sandra D.
Yeah.
Oh, but everybody wanted to be Sandra D.
Oh, they did they?
No.
Who do you want to be, Rizzo?
Aye.
I want to be John Travolta. He got the car.
That's what I did. That.
Oh, sorry. No.
I did, when I left school, I studied fashion design, and I ended up leaving because it was...
Did you do fashion design?
Aye, that's what I...
This is terrible. I'm just finding out so much about you.
Yeah.
I know.
I didn't know that Amanda's a professional singer.
No, she plays piano.
She's going to sing every song.
No, I can't sing anymore.
She says she can't sing, I think, because she's feared that we're going to ask her to sing. But she's... So you used to be a good singer? And
I used to be a good singer, aye.
And now you're telling me you studied fashion?
But listen, no really. Like, so, it was all I wanted to do. I like 6 years I did my higher art. I was just always in the art department, and actually it's so funny because my sister's pal, Jade, she won't mind me naming her, she's so cute. She'd always go, every time I'd see her, like, as an adult, she's like, oh, I used to just think you were so cool. You were always just wondering about your leather jacket and your portfolio and Nepals. I was like, aye, that's me. But I was always carrying this big like art portfolio that I've still got, by the way. And I got in to study fashion design. It was just at Cardonald College, but it was like dead hard to get into. The woman who ran it, her name was, I don't know, I can't remember, Joyce, I think. And I remember going in for you go in for an interview and you need to take in like your portfolio or your stuff and all that. And she was just like, honestly, it was like Meryl Streep in Devil Wears Prada. Like,
really?
Aye. But I got a place, and I was pure, oh my God, yes, like it's so about it. And then I went in and I was maybe there for like 2 months, and I was just like, I hate this. It was just so like, I was like, I don't even enjoy this anymore, because like,
what sort of stuff were you drawing?
Clothes.
Oh, right. Oh, that is fashion. I thought this was art. I thought this was a separate thing.
Well, you need to be good at drawing. Like, you need to be like an actual artist.
So you could actually draw like how you always see them, like the big like
the wee figures for the clothes.
Aye. Why do they look like that?
I know they're kind of
triangles, sort of.
Like they look like aliens.
They used to get when they started. They would give you templates, like actual wee templates of the body. You could just draw your stuff on.
I wonder now with everything, like, because it's all changed, if they still have to like draw. Because it was always a big skinny thing.
It's probably all digital now.
No, but I mean, like, would they be able to choose like different shapes
like
and
plus
stuff?
Size,
because it always, I've always wondered why.
It was always literally like a wee body. That it was like tits, and then it was like it was literally like 2 triangles. And a big long neck. And like, it was like.
It was deadly.
But it was horrible. It was so bitchy, and there was I hated it. And that. I was like, I really thought, and then I just started working as a waitress full time. I was like, what am I going to do?
Aye.
Aye.
Sounds
I know.
like a
I've
similar-
lost my purpose.
Yeah.
I was the same.
It's-
I went to study English and I went to do beauty therapy and then decided I didn't like that. Like after I'd finished the course, and then went to Glasgow uni to do English, and I hated it. I think I lasted up. I was dogging uni. Like I was secretly dogging uni because I was too scared to tell my ma. I think because I'd just.
Oh no!
went-
Did you do that thing dressing up away to uni, coming back at 5:30? That was great.
Oh man, shut up.
Like you don't have to do this. Like, why are you dogging uni?
How old were you?
19. So so I was still staying in my ma's house. So I was 17 when I went to do beauty therapist, and I think I was just like, because I had been like, oh, I don't want to do this, I want to do English. And then I think if I'd have been like, well, I don't want to do this either, in my head my mum would have been like, for fuck's sake. But really she was just like, because I got a phone call for the uni, like,
Where are you?
she's not been to any of her tutorials. Like, it was as if I was still at school.
They were maybe just concerned about you.
No, I think they were just like, why are you dogging uni?
Aye.
Fucking maniac.
Why were you?
Because I just
Didn't
didn't
like
want to
it?
tell MD that I was.
Aye.
Aye.
Crap, is it?
It was dead snobby and all, but it's like Glasgow uni.
Aye. It's good you got in. That's aye.
I know.
I know.
I got into St Andrews. Imagine I'd went there.
I don't see that
Wow.
for you.
It could have been a different story. You could have been the queen.
I know. Aye.
The next queen?
No, I
I know.
couldn't. Because I'm a Catholic. So
Aye. Are you a
no
Catholic?
chance.
Right. We
fucking know anything?
We don't know each other.
I mean, I say I'm a
But you don't
Catholic.
pray. You know?
I don't go to
Aye.
chapel or anything, but are you not a Catholic?
Aye, I was. Aye.
Are you?
No.
I mean, I'm not,
Yeah. I know.
Just the top.
I know that.
I mean, aye, but I'm an atheist. I'm a pure atheist. But my family are.
I don't
Catholic.
believe in atheists. No, I'm an atheist.
I actually can't abide atheists. No, I'm being serious.
What do you mean?
These are just like it's just no you like, but the ones that are staunch atheists, you're like
They throw it down your throat until you read my
it's
atheist
almost
book.
as
Alright,
extreme as
alright.
like
Aye, I don't do that. I just mean I personally don't believe in.
I think
God
I'm
and religion.
agnostic. That's
You
where
don't
the
know.
one where you're just like nobody knows.
Aye, I know what you mean.
Aye, well, I'm an atheist then.
Well, whatever.
I hate when dating profiles when you see like anything.
See, I've never seen any because
have you
it's
not?
all bypassed me.
Oh,
Yeah.
You get your dating
I
profile.
do what
yeah.
don't you
Let Viv
dare?
have a swipe.
You could have a wee swipe.
Could have a swipe.
Aye,
That's
I'll
fun,
pick someone for you.
Right, so dating profiles, people put, you don't actually have to put anything, but when I see atheist, even when I see
Why would you
agnostic,
bother
that-
putting that?
Aye, unless you're like a
That's like
religious person where you're like, right, I want people to know I'm whatever.
Aye.
Just because maybe you want to
Have you
meet
really
another.
strong like
Aye.
values that you?
I'm just like, just shut up. Do you know what I mean? Just don't say
Yeah.
anything. Like,
But do you go by any of that? Do you just go by the picture? Is there things?
well, mostly the picture, I'm not going to lie. But no for like purely looks. It's more like,
Aye,
What
they
are
look
they up
like
to
they'll
in
be
these
they'd have a
pictures?
sense of humour. They'd be smiley or
you can get an idea of like
aye,
what people are like, through what kind of pictures they put
right.
up
And do
stuff.
guys ever have filters where you can't like they're just like you think
Aye.
that isn't the real shape of your face and stuff?
Aye, like
Really?
guys have filters and stuff as well, and which I find, I know it's like sexist, but it's just so much
It's
worse
like
for a guy
no.
to have a filter. It's
Yeah.
just like, especially if like because they never really date good either.
It's very obvious.
Aye,
'Cause
like a cartoon character.
Dating didn't exist right when I was younger. It was just someone would ask you out, you were going out with them
Yeah.
Aye.
until you chucked them. Do you know what I mean? You would maybe go to the pictures, maybe,
Aye.
and then nothing would happen. And you,
aye.
but now you could like go on two dates in one night, and that'd be all right.
I mean, it's slim pickings out
Who's have the
there.
energy for
Is
that?
it?
I know, but some people do. Like, I mean, I kind of missed the boat as well, though. I didn't go on dating apps until I was in my 30s.
Right.
And like, I was always dead reluctant to go on them as well because I had that mindset where
There's a stigma, wasn't there?
if you
and-
met online,
I like it's
or-
desperate.
Aye,
Something like it's
aye.
sad, but
aye, but
my
no,
sister met her partner on
Like most people,
Tinder? No, they
Because you ask when you compare, you say how did you meet, and it's probably 95%, isn't it? Unless they're much older.
on
Aye.
Bumble, on Tinder.
what I noticed was because I got in a long-term relationship, and then I think I had a couple of years where it was just like never even saw MD. I was like, off men.
Aye.
And then my sister was like, you need to like try to start meeting people. And so I started going back out in that again. But nobody talks to each other. Like nobody, you wouldn't like in like bars and like nobody was talking to each other. Like it was dead weird. And then my pal was like, it's because like you meet people when you're like on apps and stuff. Like nobody actually talks to each other.
You didn't have that connection before.
Like
and
nobody, they don't feel they need to. They'll be on their phones on Tinder. Like,
maybe they don't feel the need
but
to
they
approach
wouldn't,
people. And
yeah.
But then saying that, I don't like when guys talk to me when I'm out either. So it's like, I don't know. It's a grim world though. The online dating.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
You need that meet cute thing, don't you? Where you just drop something, someone picks you up and you lock eyes, and then they say, I'm an atheist, and you go, well.
I'm an agnostic.
But the amount of times you think you've got a connection with somebody as well, when you're like, because it's text, it's all text.
Because they're being their best self.
And
you
then
saw they've
they've
got
good
time to
photos.
compose.
Aye.
That's happened to me.
And like you think you've got like, we've got a wee spark and like we're bantering back and forth, and then you'll meet them and you're like, where is this person?
Yeah.
Like you're not.
I get that there, it's not even dates. Someone's speaking to me about a gig or something, and I think this person's our cunt. And then you meet them and think, oh my god, they're so nice. They just or the other way around. I think
Maybe I should start going for the pure cunts and then
in
person.
and
I'm
then
like,
it's
you're alright.
aye.
We should be like pleasantly surprised. If
Yeah.
as much I can.
Aye. But I even people that I know, like pals and stuff, that have got like profiles. No, you got like social media, like the way they act on the social media, Disney line up
Correlate with our
who they are as a person, and I'm like, if I only knew you online, I don't think I would like you.
I mean, maybe yours doesn't. You don't know.
I know.
You don't know how you come
This is the
over.
thing.
That's the thing, isn't it? Aye.
Do you
But because
worry about that? I worry about that.
because I know you, when you message me, I've got your voice in my head and your kind of context.
Aye.
But when you don't know them,
I know.
it's
It's hard to
Aye.
cross. What?
Yeah.
Easy to, not hard, easy to kind of.
And like, thankfully now, like the dating apps, I only use Bumble. I kind of use Hinge, but mostly Bumble, and they have like.
I thought Hinge was just for cleaning. Oh no, what's that? Oh, that's all right.
Mrs. Hinge.
All right.
Hinge. I'm on that.
I thought loads of people were on cleaning apps.
Do you watch Mrs. Hinge? No.
Hinge.
She's fucking minted, by the way.
No
Mrs.
wonder she's
She's like got a
got
farm
a book
and
and that. Aye.
loungewear. She's got a whole
She's
like
got,
empire.
She's got it
Wow.
going on.
Wow.
Cleaning, man.
Just from being a good cleaner.
That is.
Cleaning
I
hands.
could
And I
never.
don't think she's even a proper cleaner. I think she's just kind of cleans the house. It's not as if she's like a cleaner.
Aye.
But she it started for just uploading like
Cleaning videos.
like tips and stuff, did it?
Aye.
Aye. I don't really know, I've not really seen it, but so know the cleaning app.
Although saying that, I do watch shite like that because it's just mind numbing and
Easy.
You need that after
background
gigs
noise.
sometimes, don't you?
Aye.
A wee bit of shite that's
Aye.
just,
I love
yeah.
What's your favourite wee bit of shite?
I love Married at First Sight.
Married at First Sight. There's a new series.
Is it not on Wednesday or something?
Is it?
And it's gone the Australian way as well, which is the best way.
Which
Aye.
is like
So I didn't watch the UK one. I tried to watch it, but
They did it more scientifically at first. They'd have maybe just
Aye.
3 couples.
and it was dead low budget.
Aye, and it was kind of, aye.
compared to the Australian one.
Yeah.
It's a pure different vibe. But if the Australian it up, is it more?
Oh, aye. There's 32 episodes.
the Australian
And-
one I've not watched.
It's like that.
Sorry, I was just. But is that they get them all together in the same?
They
place
now
and
live
all
in the
that?
same building, all the couples, because it's all, so they try and get them to.
That's right, because in the UK one,
Aye.
They're doing that now as
cheat
well,
on each
aye.
other.
Because you see people that you think, why is that one not matched with that one? All right, because you want them just to do it. Aye.
You want them to realise actually
Yeah.
we should.
Aye.
Oh, I like that.
That and Star Trek.
Star Trek.
I love anything Star Trek.
I've never seen a single. My granda used to watch Star Trek when I was younger, but I've never watched it.
Well, he'll be my age.
He's dead.
He'll always be
He's
my
no
age.
He was 84 though when he died.
That's
so it was-
right.
Jeez, oh. Is there no a new Star Trek film coming out?
I don't know. I should
The
know.
only reason that
I thought that
maybe
rings a
is it
bell.
a series?
I don't know.
It's because that boy Martin, he's a Scottish actor.
Oh yeah, he's playing
Oh.
Scotty.
No, his
There's
name's
a
not
there's a new
Martin.
series. There's a
What's his
new.
name?
Aye, he's playing Scotty.
Aye,
Oh my
he's
God, I
great.
can't remember
Yeah,
his
yeah,
name.
yeah.
Who came to Material Girl that night? Aye, his name is Martin.
Is it? Right.
Martin.
Because he had a small part in the Lovers that was just on telly just now. A guy at my college, David Ireland, wrote, and it's about a girl that works in a supermarket in Belfast meets a kind of media famous type from London,
Right.
and he's in that as well.
I
Aye,
think
he's
he's
I can't remember his
good.
name, but he's great.
Aye, it's
Aye,
really good.
I was on
nice.
that whole Queen of the New Year.
I saw it.
Aye,
Yes,
so he was on
yes.
that. That's where is it Martin Quinn?
Martin Quinn, that was his name.
Aye.
Ah,
Yeah,
right.
So he's in some new Star Trek thing as Scotty.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's
That is the series. It's the Star Trek. What's it called? Because it's about before the Enterprise, so it's Pike. You don't know who I'm talking
Don't
about.
even. I'm just like.
So it was the captain before James Kirk.
All right. Okay.
Yeah,
So it's like
and a young Scotty's in
right,
it.
okay.
Aye, yeah.
are you into like that
It's-
genre?
I love sci-fi.
I love
Anything that's got
sci-fi.
time travel. I love time travel. Aye, anything like Back to the Future films. Love them.
I went to see.
And
Sorry.
no, that's
I was just going to say, I went to see a really good like sci-fi play at the King's the other week called The Ocean at the End of the Lane. You know, the Neil Gaiman.
all right. Like Neil
novel?
Gaiman, yeah.
Gaiman, is that it?
Oh, I don't know.
Neil. Big Neil.
Aye, Big Neil.
It's like a book. It's like a sci-fi kind of horror play, and it was honestly just like the best thing I've.
Was it?
I've
I must go.
ever
And,
seen.
oh, that sounds
Touring
brilliant.
about. You missed it in Glasgow, but I think it's on in London for a couple of weeks. I don't know where else they're stopping, but honestly, it was just incredible. Like the music, the acting, the props, and it was so good.
All right. Oh, that sounds
So
good.
I
So
don't.
good.
I know that's. I don't like.
Sci-fi.
I keep going to call it sci-fi because that's what it's spelled.
I don't like all of it, do you know? But
Aye.
just
I know it's
sometimes
a broad-
maybe it's an escapism-y thing, or you just.
I wish I liked it, but I don't.
Aye.
I don't like anything that's like no in the real
I know, I
world.
do.
I love stuff that's set in somewhere that lives in another planet and they visit Earth. I love when that happens. When people that, you know, like Third Rock from the Sun, I love that. I love the
I
idea
never
that
saw
nobody
that.
knew that they were aliens, but you do, and just them fish out of water stuff. I love that. Or people that have got technology that the people on Earth don't have, and you know that, wow, they could fix that with that, and they can.
Try to sell it to his mum. No, I wish I was into it. I feel like I'm missing out on something. But even like Game of Thrones and all that, like
Well, that's more fantasy, but
fantasy,
yeah.
like I can't get into that
No, I
either.
couldn't, but then I watched it and I did enjoy it. Aye.
Stranger
watch Game
Things. I watched
Stranger Things is amazing.
Love
That's
Stranger
kind of
Things. That's a bit of
fantasy.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't like anything that looks a bit creepy. I don't like anything.
Well, I like
creepy.
creepy. I like horror.
See,
I like,
horror kind of. I
Depends
don't
on
like
the
watching
horror.
gory.
I don't like loads of blood, but I like
Nah.
creepy. Like, oh, what's going on here?
I like thrillers.
Aye,
I'm more scared of like ghosty things. Like
so am I.
I bet to see Paranormal Activity.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
know,
last thing
right.
that I saw.
Aye.
And I was like, this is not for me. I couldn't sleep for
It's
like a week.
terrifying. That was terrifying.
Aye.
I was like, no.
Yeah, I remember going to see The Exorcist when I was about 13, and my neighbour's house was joint ours, and I couldn't walk from hers to mine.
Aye.
It was still daylight, and I was just like, "Oh, this is." Have you seen it? It was the bed shaking thing.
You watched it recently?
They've made
The
the remake.
Exorcist?
They've
What,
got
they remade
a remake
it?
coming out.
No.
Aye.
Is she the repossessed?
No, I just mean like if you watched the same film.
Oh no, I'd still feel like I couldn't
Probably-
watch it.
You'd probably laugh now.
That's what
Would
I
I?
mean. Like,
Right,
is it-
I probably would.
no
I
laugh, but
still
you'd probably
can't
be
bring
like,
myself
alright,
to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you know, I was terrified all grown up. I was terrified of the Freddy Krueger films. I'd never seen
Oh
them.
yeah, they're
but I just
terrifying.
thought,
yeah.
I can't
Aye,
watch it.
that's.
And then as an adult, I watched it and I was like, Like, all right, okay.
The thing is, we were on holiday in America this year, and we sort of travelled down the whole west coast, and at points we stayed in this cabin in the woods, and oh my God, it was terrifying. And the guy who owned it wasn't in, but we were below, and it was in the woods, and we heard this noise, woke us up at 3 a.m, and I'd seen a chainsaw outside, earlier, and I just started thinking, and I just heard a scratch kind of on the ceiling, and we were like, what the fuck? And then eventually my husband went, he's got a cat.
Oh,
and we thought, it's the cat.
Thank fuck for that.
I know.
But
yeah,
then you go,
but it's these films, they just spoil
your life. But things like that day happen. So do you know what I mean? People day murder each other with chainsaws and stuff. So
I know.
Like, I'm not into the true. What am I into? I'm not into true crime either.
No, I'm no.
I've not really got the stomach for that.
I went to one of these. Someone bought me a ticket for one of these true crime. It was an Oran Moore thing, and it just felt like I thought, where's the people are laughing and loving stuff about the killer, but the victim seemed like, guess how this one died, and I thought, this is people that died only 5 years ago. This is just it felt like, a bit.
There's people switch off for that, didn't they?
I know.
They're more intrigued by the killer, and it's like it's exploiting.
They're like celebrating, and I couldn't enjoy it.
Yeah, I watch a really good one though on YouTube. Her name's Kendall Ray, and she's very much like tells the story of the victim and is really like respectful, and is just about like raising awareness. A lot of the cases she covers as well, or maybe haven't been solved, or were unfairly they've not had justice for like the victim and stuff. So she'll talk about them to like raise awareness of it and whatever. And I don't know why I do find it entertaining. No entertaining, but people like comforting to sit and like hear it. And I think I was reading a wee while ago that women are more interested. Women consume a lot of true crime, and it's because we're most likely to be
a victim of
the victim. So we like to prepare for what.
I don't want to know then.
No, I'm kind of
I'm like, this could happen to me.
But then it's like, at least you know what's going to happen.
I love stuff about cults though. We were talking about that in the car. Anything about like reading about Scientology or any cults, that just fascinates me.
So fascinating.
See, I feel like everybody Scientology, look what's going on with that now, because everybody was all talking about it and now they're no. Like, remember like years ago it was like everybody was kind of obsessed with it, and there was that Leah Remini,
yeah.
It wasn't a podcast, it was a documentary about it as well. And
I watched the one on Nexium cult. Did you see that one? The women that were all getting branded for the sky. No. Branded down there. Like
down there?
Yeah. I know.
Exactly where?
Like a hot, like in the fire, in this bit. Yeah. And they thought it was some magic symbol. Turned out it was Keith Rainier's, whatever his name is, his initials.
Aye. That's mad.
And you see the cult leader guy and you're thinking, what? Him?
Why him? I know they're always, we're talking about it's always like, he was just so charismatic and handsome, and I just thought like, oh wow, and then you see the guy and you're like, what?
I know.
It's like people were saying like, like everybody used to fancy Ted Bundy, and then you look at Ted Bundy and you're like, what?
Some women have got a thing for like serial killers.
I know. Fancying them after they know. I know. Yeah, that's
I could change him.
It's that, isn't it? There's like, I'm special though. I'd be the one that
I'd be the one he didn't. He didn't beat today.
He'd still love me after he killed me.
Some women like write to guys in jails and stuff like that as well. That make you that bash. So I can.
I'm actually friends with someone. I work with someone. I don't know. I won't name them around, but they met their ex-partner. He was in jail, and she wrote to him.
That's creepy as fuck.
Wow.
It's mad, isn't it?
I know.
Mm-hmm. And he had killed someone.
Really?
Yeah, but not like. It wasn't like a murderer. It was like a.
Just a killer.
Just like a like an accidental.
Manslaughter
kind of thing. Like a fight that just just went.
That's more of a turn on.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
So yeah, I mean, I'm not like.
No, I know.
Still fucked up, but but it wasn't like a pure.
So going about. How did she end up writing to him? Like, is it part of a?
I can't
scheme thing or something? Like,
no, I think she knew him before that as like kids or something.
oh,
And I think just, I don't know, maybe wrote to him to be like, you know, hey, I saw that. I don't know. I can't remember. She did tell me the whole story, but
That's amazing, isn't it? That's what you're doing wrong.
I know.
yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Get some postal addresses
Honestly, man, like some of the guys on it should be
and
locked
locked up.
Well, honestly,
You
it's
don't meet people
terrifying.
in bars, it's behind bars.
I know. Like, it's honestly terrifying though, like, because I'm really good at stalking people, like, and finding out their whole background with like very little information. Aye, but this guy, I found out just by like his minimum information that he'd thrown. No, he hadn't thrown acid in his girlfriend's face. He threatened to throw acid.
Jeez.
But it's terrifying, like how normal people come across, and then like if you do a wee bit of digging,
You're like,
Was this here?
aye, this isn't that long ago.
Wow.
Aye, but this even less things like that. Like you'll kind of like find them on Instagram or something, and then you can go through their stuff, and then like you can see like they've split up with their girlfriend's like then you go on their page, their girlfriend's. Like,
See, I don't have the patience for that. I can't imagine.
I just like to know what I'm
Scrolling
getting into.
back,
It. Just
right.
because guys present themselves like so like normal, and then
Aye.
like
But
makes
they
it the
will.
time they
People
turn
do
out to
give
be.
away stuff online, and you're kind of
Aye.
because I've not grown up with that where you're just putting everything out there. I still don't.
But
kinda-
the threatening to throw the acid in the lassie's face was for a newspaper article.
Wow.
So it
I
was-
see.
How did you meet your husband?
Online. No, never. I got a part in this. I'd come out with this long term relationship of 7 years living with someone and stuff like that, and I actually got my drink spiked and it made me really, really ill. And we a pub, and then we sort of split up, and then I sort of left the flat we're living in, so I was kind of homeless, living in just staying at different people's houses for about 3 months, and then a friend of mine. There was a stage with the newspaper, you'd find acting jobs then, you didn't go online, and she said, oh look, you can go and do Shakespeare down south for like 3 months around high schools, why don't you go for it? And he was doing it. I got on it, and he was one of the other actors, so he acted then, and it was good because I didn't need a flat because I could just stay in these different places, and I just thought he was gay. He had tight white jeans on. I thought he's gay, and he was really lovely. And so, exactly. He liked musicals. So I would just totally undress in front of him,
so really,
just thinking whatever.
He must have been
And
like,
then-
she's absolutely.
And then we became really good pals, and then we just, and my friend was saying, oh, it's a tour really, because he lived in Birmingham, and she says, just a tour relationship, that happens on tours, it just happens on tours. But we kept sort of seeing each other like maybe every 3 weeks, and it was every 2 weeks, and we get the trains down, everything, long distance thing and all that, and there wasn't really as much online, you just had your phones really. And then about a year later he moved up.
So when was the moment that you found out he wasn't gay?
Probably when he was having sex. No. No, it was probably
I'm buying it.
It was probably quite soon in, but I automatically was open with him and ease with them when I met him. There was something about him that I just, because I didn't think, oh, does we fancy each other, do we not? That wasn't going on. It was more like, oh, you're nice, we're pals, let's just have a job. And then
So funny. That's a great way to start off. Just like
I know,
thinking they're gay.
because I didn't realise I fancied him. I wouldn't look at him right away and go, I fancy you, but there was just something. He just got under my, even when I was away, I thought it would, but I kept wanting to see each other, and it was like,
How long have you been married for now?
so 20 years this year.
And you've got 2 dogs.
No kids and 2 dogs.
brilliant.
So 22 years been together, and he didn't even like dogs. He didn't, because he was scared of dogs. He'd never had a dog. He'd had cats, and I wanted a boxer.
I can see why you.
I know. I wanted a boxer like my mum had when I was younger, and sort of compromise between a cat and a boxer was Cavalier King Charles. And then
What are their names? They're so cute.
I know they're lovely. Ollie and Frankie.
Oh,
I know. We did try to get a rescue actually, but they wouldn't give us one because we'd never had a dog before, and we didn't have a fence in the garden at the time and all that. So they're quite strict, which is good.
yeah, it's good.
So I like to say that I did try to get a rescue, but
I know.
But
There's a
they're-
lot of thing me to get a rescue, but I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to home a dog that's...
It's just like if they're properly bred and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because I'm not bothered about pedigrees or all that. I mean, they are, but I don't...
I just
it doesn't
like it's not like a puppy farm or something.
No, God, no. It was a breeder woman, and we got one, and then... I mean, I've not got kids, but the getting up in the night and all that, I was just
I think
this is hard
a puppy's
work.
harder than a baby, by the way.
And then 10 weeks later, I went, let's just get another one, because we've got one.
I was going to say Annie's. She's a rescue, so she is. She's for the Dogs Trust.
Oh, she's lovely.
She's but I think she was for a puppy farm because we don't know her story like entirely.
Yeah,
but they kind of pieced it together that
she not got an Instagram. You couldn't go back.
Instagram. But she was for Ireland, so she
all right, aye.
Mm-hmm. So that's how I think they've got a pure bad puppy farm like problem out there.
Yeah, that's breaks your heart when you think about it. I know.
I was pure nearly crying the other night. We were driving back from Aberdeen. There was loads of wee rabbits at the side of the road.
I know, you just worry they were going to just
come onto the road.
I know. I don't know if it's something as I've got older, right? And I'm not even vegetarian, but I've got more and more like upset about anything, insects, animals. Like if someone talks about spiders and go, I always kill them, I just think, oh my God, I need to just get them not to. Like I saw a wee spider in my bath yesterday and it was trying to get up, so I tried to help it and then it was like scurried away scared. So I just draped a towel all the way into the bath. So I thought, right, you can climb up that, I could climb down there. Where will it go? I'll leave the door open. Or could you're like,
just let it stay as a wee flatmate. Just
aye, because September's when they all come in.
I know. I've had about 3 or 4 of them. Fucking big fuckers.
I'm scared of them.
I'd be scared if I was in Australia. I'm not scared here, but I would be.
Aye, I'd be scared if
my wee dog was stayed in a wasp last week. We didn't know what he'd stood on, and he just started screaming, and his paw was up. And I thought he's going to have a heart attack. He's going to pass out, and we just had no idea what was going on. And we tried looking, and he's
stuck in.
No. Well, no, and we didn't find out till later. We thought, is there glass? Is there what? And we were feeling his pad. We couldn't feel anything, and phoned the vet, and she says it might be a wasp thing. Put him in icy cold basin. So he put his paw in an icy cold basin and automatically relaxed, and the sting came out just on its own, just slid out that big.
My God!
Long black spiky, and he just went
I never knew that. Can you do that with humans as well?
You must be able to. It must have just eased the.
I've never touched wood been stung by a wasp, but I was stung by a hornet when I was really young.
Did we even? I never even knew we got hornets.
Aye. Yeah. That must be sore.
It was really, I pure remember I was like 5 and I was on the beach and I was wearing a bright yellow t-shirt and I don't know why, but there was hundreds of ladybirds about and they kept landing on me.
Must be the colour or something.
Like it was as if it was so weird. It was really like I thought I was like, oh my God, I'm an actual Disney princess. Like everybody, people were gathering around me because people were literally like, wow, look at this, and they were all landing on me, all these ladybirds, right?
I hate ladybirds.
I was maybe off like a weird smell or something.
I mean, they don't mind when they're like walking, but like it's when they take off.
Fly. But I was like catching them in my hands. I was like doing this sort of thing, and then I got a hornet. There was like a hornet buzzing on it, and I was like, and it stung me. Obviously, I remember them taking me up to the ice cream the van, like whatever they so somebody could pour vinegar on it.
Right, or pee in it, probably. I don't know.
Went with vinegar, thankfully.
I used to be like vinegar or
I thought piss was for jellyfish things.
Oh, right. Oh man, I've been
probably same
kind of thing.
I shouldn't have been pissed on. My brother did it. I know. I was told it was for warts and verrucas, right? And I had this big wart on my toe. Honestly, when I used to go out with people, right? I said, "Is it okay if I wear my sock in bed?" I used to never. I was so embarrassed about this wart, and then one day,
it was like
I got my brother to piss on it.
Barely visible.
I was told this was about 19 or something. I was told, I couldn't reach, and he gladly did it. He sort of aimed in the toilet and on my leg. It got rid of it.
Wait, did it?
About 19 or something. I'd gone back home
for 18.
Maybe I was younger than that. Maybe 18. I never even. But imagine that being in a cup.
Just dipped your toe in it.
Oh yeah, I never thought of that. Pretty. I had one on my toe, on my knee, and on my thumb on this side, but it was just the thumb, not the thumb, the toe. Yeah.
How can you ever?
I don't know.
How do you still speak to him after that?
Aye, she has to in case it ever comes back.
It's only his piss can cure it. Has to be in family's piss. Like a kidney or something.
Aye, it's like
Oh God. I think
it's the only time I've done that.
I'm not going to get any better than that. That's getting clipped and put online.
Oh no. Warts and all.
You might run your comedy course or that.
I'm starting one tomorrow with Ultra Comedy that I've got, but I think they've got plenty already of people.
nice.
And
How many people are?
I don't know if all 30 will keep doing it.
Is it
but
30?
They came for the registration, but it starts tomorrow proper. But I know it's too many.
I feel like how many? What's the drop off rate? Like usually, like as people like
as it
pursue
goes on.
comedy.
Do you know something? It depends on the group. See if they bond and they all like each other, they'll stay.
Aye.
But and they'll carry on doing comedy and stuff like that.
'Cause they've got a wee
I'd
pal.
say you get. Sometimes it's not even just they don't want to do the gig. It's just life takes over and they can't commit to the same night every week. And I'd say like this one it'll end up being 22. That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Aye.
Which is still loads.
No,
Which
but
is still a
like,
lot.
Do you think
Aye.
they 22 people will like
No,
have?
no. Like there's some classes, like the one that Martin Nelson did, Jay Lafferty did, Billy Kirkwood did. They were all in the same. All of them. There was a big crowd of them that all carried on for ages together. Yeah.
And they're still going.
Aye, and they're still pals. And then there's others that maybe there's just one in. Do you know what I mean? So you don't.
What made you go like that? I'm going to teach it. Like,
I just got asked. I would never have thought to do it.
because you'd done the drama thing in that.
No,
and
it was. I'd been doing gigs, and in fact, it was because I did drama. Because I did a play for someone at the Ramshorn, and they ran night classes and like drama stuff like that. And she asked me, "Would you speak to the undergraduates about comedy? Because they've got to do a comedy module." And I just did one speech, and then she went, "Do you think you could do a night class?" And I thought, "No, I couldn't do a night class." Then I thought, but then who could? I thought, if you're doing really well, you'd be famous. You wouldn't have the time. And I'd been doing it about 3 years at the time. And I thought, why not? And I was so shitting myself. I felt like such a fraud.
Really?
Aye, and there was different.
You
Like there was
remember the first class? Like,
Des McLean was in it, and Des Clark was in it.
oh my God.
Yeah,
mad.
All the
and
Desies?
yep, I know. Des Clark was only 17, and there was a few others that I can maybe. And they wanted to make a Channel 4. There was a company that wanted to make Dispatches. They wanted to make a Channel 4 documentary about it, and this was at the time that Maureen from driving school had just come out one of these, and I thought, there's no way I want to be in a reality television thing.
Aye.
But also I was slightly embarrassed because I thought it was like a bit of a sign of failure teaching comedy, because it was like, you're not gigging enough, so you've got to do another job.
Aye.
But it's not like that, and I actually really enjoyed it and stuff like that, and I just refused. I did not want to do. I didn't let them film.
Yeah.
I didn't even want
haven't
them
you
to.
been teaching for now?
So that was 98 that I started teaching.
I can't do maths.
That was 25 years ago.
25
And that, aye,
25 years?
I know.
That's crazy.
I know.
And that first class was like...
Aye, and it was lucky, and Kira Murphy was in that one as well, and it was lucky because there were just nice. There was a lot of nice people, so they knew it was my first one. We were kind of all in it together, kind of thing. But because it was in the uni, it was Strathclyde Uni.
Aye.
It was. There was also a bit where you had to write stuff, and you have to get,
Aye, like
You
a
have to
kind of
get
pass a
academic
module and all
side,
that. Yeah. And I couldn't get into uni, and then there I was teaching it. I just felt like, hey.
So what did you do like with the class? Like what sort of things did you do?
So I read all different books. Like there's a woman, Judy Murray. Not Judy Murray.
No,
Judy Murray. Judy. Someone else wrote a book that I stand. So I read tons and tons of books. Watched loads of videos, so I could show them videos. I couldn't believe, and I'm not going to name names of comedians, how many comedians had ripped off so many. I watched so many videos that I suddenly started seeing comedians I knew's jokes that they'd been ripping off. Yeah, it was quite interesting. And then so I did things like stories, and got them to tell funny stories and stuff like that, and see. And then I'd do that the following week. I'd sort of work on attitude, more about loving something you wouldn't expect to love or hate, and sort of opposites.
So
which I still kind of do.
That with us, yeah.
And then we'd look at newspapers and stuff, and I've, like a good set, I've sort of finessed it over the years. I mean, I don't get bored easily. in my set. So I'm always thinking I could have done that better. So next time I'll do that different.
I
And
see,
do it.
just
Yeah,
keep
so you
it
keep.
constantly.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I have to tell you this. I did a workshop with these women, right? It was for a mental health service. It was with women, a lot of them about my age, some older, and they were quite shy. One woman had her coat buttoned up to the top, right? And she was probably retired age, right? And I thought, right, she's not going to like this and all that. And I got them all to tell stories. And it was like a call my bluff, would I lie to you thing. And her group went first. And one story's true and everybody else is telling the same story, but they're lying. Mm-hmm. She went first and I thought, all right, she went, so the first time I had a threesome, and I was like, oh my God, this, and we were all bent over double laughing so much. I just thought this is going to be good. Obviously she was lying, but it was like this.
I thought you were going to say she was.
Oh no, she was telling the truth. That would have been good. But so I've stopped in my mind. I'm thinking, right, I've just got to make them laugh while they're learning.
Aye.
Yeah.
Just to loosen them up a wee.
Aye, a wee bit, yeah. Because they have to believe I'm funny or they won't believe I can teach them.
Remember, sorry.
No, that's it.
When I did the ultra comedy thing, we did it. Remember the guy who turned up
Yes.
on the last day?
Yeah, and I had to kick him out.
I insisting that he was going to perform. He hadn't came to any of the course. But he's like, well, I'd registered for it and I raised money and all this sort of stuff. Remember?
I know. It was really awkward.
It was so awkward. I was like, and he literally sat on the ground and was pure refusing to leave.
In the class?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, he just came in, he found it where it was.
So weird.
And the thing is, I've got a thing where I think, it's not that I don't want to, you can't just do a gig or whatever, but I always feel that you could go up and be totally racist or be anything. It's my teaching that is on.
As if you're,
You've put. So I have to know what you're. But
like,
he was.
Have you ever had to like banish some people from the class?
Well, there was a guy that denied the Holocaust during my class in Strathclyde Uni. Yeah, because it's a uni though. There, it's more like they've got more of these things they've got to follow and stuff like that. So,
sorry, this.
But he took it upon himself not to come back. But there was a kind of horrible.
Did he just deny it in conversation, or was this comedy?
It was the newspapers bit, and it was Holocaust Memorial Day, and someone was talking about it, and he says, "But how do you know what happened?" And someone went, "You don't." He goes, "Well, I wasn't there."
For fuck's sake.
He's not even fucking count yourself
like, you know, like some of the lunatics would be like, like have an actual
oh yeah, he had
some sort of disputable, wasn't he there? So
I think he probably had one, but I didn't want to get into it. But there was a man in the class that was Jewish, and he just lost his. I mean, yeah,
that's probably going to be the worst.
Oh, that's. I would have asked him not to come back, but he didn't come back. So I know it was a bit like, I was just a bit stunned because that was before I heard people did deny it. Do you know that way? You're just like, what is this?
What? You're right.
Yeah, I know.
Where have you been? God's sake.
That's mad.
On that bombshell.
I know.
There was no, I was trying, there was no like nut jobs in the course that I did, I don't think.
That guy.
Well, the guy that turned up at the end.
But he was like, I mean, like throughout.
Oh, no.
There was nobody to.
It was a nice group. I feel
nice,
like I love that moment where you're all newcomers and nobody knows each other, and then there's a moment like 3 or 4 weeks in, and you just look around and go, God, they're all pals now. It's just nice. I like that. Yeah.
Social thing.
Yeah.
Have you ever done? Well, you must have done improv if you went to drama school.
Aye. See, I find it easy, but not when I've got to be on stage and come up with I always kind of, I feel like, oh my God, I've got to be funny, I've got to be good, you know, and you're on with people like Stu and Gary are like psychic with each other, they're amazing. And you're just like, I think
you've either maybe got that kind of, like you probably sway one to the other, stand up or improv in it. Aye. So like polar opposite, because stand up's so prepared.
I know. I think it's good if you're good at improv for like MCing and if you're getting heckled and stuff. Yeah.
But like pure improv, just getting up and like somebody saying a scenario to you and then
I can certainly do it, but I don't know if it's going to be, I'm never in my head, I'm going, is this entertainment that people should pay to see? About me, not about other folk, but
I'd like to do one just because I know I would hate it. If you know what I mean, like
you might be really good at it.
I don't think
I have been in an improv class, but I can't really remember what happened. I remember at one point, the only thing I can kind of remember is the teacher person told us all to walk around the room and pretend we were a scientist, and I was like right, so everybody's walking about and I'm like, the fuck do you pretend?
Scientist,
I mean, I wanted it, but don't know.
That's just
How do you pretend you're a scientist?
you just.
Don't know.
I know.
Anyway, so that
I think
was
you
I
would
was just
sit
like,
down
this
and
isn't
watch
for
everyone
me.
walk around the room.
This isn't for me. And that saying the first thing that's on your mind thing.
Oh,
scares
aye,
me
because
because
if you edit it, you're just.
I get intrusive
but like, what if
thoughts.
you fucking shout out something like you can't control your thoughts?
I know.
Like,
I get quite bad intrusive thoughts. I'd
Aye.
end up being like, I was just imagining like punching Ollie's in the eye.
Because when I dropped out of drama school, right, my third year, right, and I went back 3 years later, and the first thing we had to do was this director was there, and he got us all to lie on the floor, and he says, right, imagine you're an alien. I like aliens. That is just woken up in a body and you don't know what fingers do and hands do. And I sort of lay down
funny.
and I got up and I just thought, I can't handle this. I feel like a dick. And because I'd been out of it for so long, I just got, I can't. And I sat and nobody knew me yet. And they're thinking, God, the new girl doesn't want it, you know. And I just thought, I cannot handle this. I feel like a wanker. But thankfully, it was mostly just plays you did. You know, it was just being in a play. But I couldn't. But when my husband was at drama school, he says there was a bit you had to do where you had to mime pretending you were the first thing you would do in the morning, right? And you'd, you know, pretend you're having a shower and do all this. And he said this guy just got his dick out. A guy just thought, right, I'm going to look like I'm having a wank.
oh my
So
God.
he got his, but he was just taking the piss. He was kind of, and the teacher went, you can't do that. He says, well, you asked me to do what I do in the morning.
What, did he actually get his dick out? That's
There's always one.
Yeah,
And
I know.
Always one.
I might be wrong, maybe pretended to have a wank. I don't know, but this is what But because you
just
feel like a dick, you're just thinking, how's this going to make me a good actor? I just feel like an idiot.
I know,
You
but
just-
I think I'm too self-conscious to like act as well. I'm not really a very good. I can get by acting, but like I'm too in my own head.
aye.
Right.
To,
Yeah.
I think that is like you can't
It's
really.
a big part. Yeah, you'd
like-
imagine.
I don't think.
Most people. I don't know.
I think you're either one or the other. Like I don't think you're either one or the other. But I think if you've got that kind of brain that's like critical all the time, then you're not gonna like excel at like acting.
Maybe with improv, but no acting. Because acting, you've got a script and you've learned it, and do you know what I mean? So
But
you're
even some of the stuff, even like interacting with somebody, you've got to kind of let yourself go a bit. Do you know what I mean?
aye.
What do you mean, like in a scene?
Aye, just
Aye, aye.
acting. Aye.
Well, but the way is though is you don't feel like you're letting yourself go. You feel like you're the character letting yourself go.
Aye.
If you know what I mean.
Aye.
So you think, what would they be doing? What would
Aye. So that's
aye?
where
So
I
that's
struggle.
how shy people can be actors,
Aye.
because you're
That's weird, isn't it? 'Cause
Yeah.
they actually enjoy.
you kind of can escape.
That's what I on my uni course there. There's two actresses. One of them was saying like she's actually really self-conscious, but she finds acting dead easy because she likes to just like it's easier for her to just pretend to be other people because she's not herself. So she feels if she's getting judged, it's
Aye,
no her.
yeah.
It's like
Because what you've described about acting is what people say about doing stand-up. How hard it is, because you have to reveal
I
yourself.
feel as if
And
it's easier to be yourself than it is to pretend to be another person.
aye,
So you
Aye.
feel less of a dick.
But she was saying the opposite.
Aye.
She'd rather
Aye.
no, be
That's what I
yourself
mean,
in
it's
front
like
of
two
people.
different
that's why
ways
some actors aren't good stand-ups. You find a lot of
Aye.
stand-ups are good actors, especially for TV, because a lot of TV you're just being natural. You're just
Aye.
being close to you in a different scenario.
Yeah.
I think
But-
that's where stand-ups mostly, that's what they can do, but they can't do anything else. Even like Ricky Gervais, he's just the same in everything.
Aye, aye.
I mean, so
yeah.
it's like, but a proper actor can like pure
Aye,
transform
convince you
themselves
that you're
into
if they get cast at that, yeah.
Aye.
Once you get casted, because I found getting older, there's more interesting parts. Not that I'm going up for them, but when you're young, you've got to be an ingenue or ugly. But when you get older, you're all ugly in their eyes. Do you know what I mean? It's weird. You're just I've been up for parts that I know girls are about 17, 18 years younger than me, and we're both up for the same part now because they're over 35. It's sad that they're suddenly seen as all right. You can't be
I
the
think acting,
The bird.
lead, you can't be
Aye,
lead 'cause
aye.
You're too old.
acting's so brutal. Like, that industry,
aye.
isn't it? Fuck that, and like having to do self tapes all the
Oh
time.
God, it was never
Go
like
for
that. I've
auditions.
never got a job for my self tape.
No,
No,
just auditioning as well.
oh no, it's
Did you
grim.
have to do loads of
That's
them?
hell.
Oh, aye. I've got an agent and stuff, and but it just I've not had as many recently, but and in Scotland, it's all friendly. Do you know what I mean? But when you're down south,
It's like,
it's very much like.
aye.
But in Scotland, it's like, hiya, how you doing? Not seen you for ages. You know, so but inside you're thinking, fuck, they're better than me. They're going to get, aye. And there's about 6 women your age with blonde hair. Do you know?
Aye.
But now as you get older, it's just like every woman after over a certain age, doesn't matter what you look like, you're all up for the same one.
Aye.
Thank you so much for coming.
Oh no, thanks for having me. I enjoyed that. That was the most, I've never had a podcast where I've talked about all of these things, and it was great. It was just a chat. It was great.
Bye.
Bye. Well, turn this off.
Bye.